Hello and welcome to another episode of Trauma Bond and Elixir. I'm Lucia Costin, your host, and today we are gonna look once again at Anhedonia, which is basically the inability to feel the joy and the pleasure in doing the things you once loved doing. And I've spoken about this before, and today I want to dive into it a bit more because I've seen a lot of interest coming from your side. And the thing is that anhedonia is more than just not being able to experience joy or not being able to spend time with your loved ones. And you might doubt whether you even like doing things in the first place. You may be doubting if you are even an extroverted person, if you really like spending time with people, if you really ever enjoyed doing the hobby you used to do. And you're not interested in maintaining or forming any new relationships, and this includes family as well. It includes children, and even though you love your children and you try to be the best parent in the world, you don't actually enjoy spending time with them. It's not an activity you love doing. Everything suddenly becomes mundane. Everything becomes repetitive. Everything becomes pointless. And this anhedonia, this inability to experience joy or pleasure from life experiences, yes, it can be a symptom of many mental health conditions such as depression or PTSD. It can be because of certain medication that you might be taking, something along the lines of antidepressants. It can occur, with people that have major depression disorder, for example. It can occur because of numerous life experiences. But how do we get out of it? And how do we treat it? How do we move on and enjoy life once again? Because it's easier to think of it as, this is just, a byproduct of this other issue that you have, or this is just because you are on this medication, or maybe it's just the postpartum depression that is causing you to not feel so interested in everything. And a lot of the times people with anhedonia, they don't really feel, they don't even feel depressed. So if you come and you say, maybe you can't experience all this joy and all the wonders of life, maybe you're depressed, maybe that's the thing and you should do something about it. They don't feel depressed. They don't feel sad. They don't feel anything. It's like you suddenly become numb. And if you're doing something, it's a robotic task. You're not there because you enjoy it, and you're really questioning if you ever experienced joys from doing those certain activities that you used to love. And oftentimes this happens, as I said, with people with depression or PTSD, because your system is overwhelmed, because your system needs that deep rest. And most of the time, this is what you would be doing. You would just sit wondering what is wrong. So with me and the people that I see and the work that I do, we try to get to the bottom of it. We try to see, how was your life before? What did you enjoy doing? And we try to see what occurred, what changes happened that you stopped experiencing joy. At what point you kind of disconnected from this experience that you once had? Because it's not something that you're born with. It's not something that just it happened. It does build up over time, indeed. And you kind of wake up in the middle of it, not knowing what to do and where to turn to. So if you find yourself in this kind of like limbo, in this linger, in this numb feeling, in this nothing brings me joy, everything is mundane, I do it, I don't do it, I don't really care, it is important to seek out help and to express those feelings and to try and see what exactly is overwhelming you to the point where you disconnected and you impaired this process that used to happen. Because, as I said before, it's not about just I go to work or I don't go to work, I don't care. It's about spending time with your family. It's about enjoying those quality moments with your children. It's about enjoying a family gathering. It's about getting excited when you receive a present or when you get a surprise. You suddenly don't get excited from things. You don't retain that joy. And in some rare cases where something pleasant does break through, it feels nice in the moment, but you'll not really remember it feeling nice. So when you look back at that moment, you can't relive that feeling of joy and happiness. And if you achieve something, you don't really register it emotionally. You know you did something well. You feel it, but you're not gonna go, oh my God, we need to celebrate this. I can't believe what just happened. Guys, you gotta sit down because it's big. It's gonna be like, okay, I understand it mentally, but there's no feelings there. There's no dreams, no hopes for the future, nothing to fight for, nothing to strive for. Everything, as I said, it's mundane, and it's just day after day, and also the total absence of caring for something, that absence of feelings, that can hurt more than failing to do something, because you stop caring about living, you stop caring about eating, you stop caring about everything. And when you look back, it hurts. So if you find yourself in this situation, if everything seems to be just the same old, and you're not depressed, you don't feel depressed, you are getting a lot of sleep, if anything, you enjoy your sleep and you get 6 to 8 hours a night of sleep, and you feel rested. I will also do another podcast on sleep and how we use it at times to avoid reality and to avoid dealing with the problems that we should be dealing with, because it does offer us a perfect excuse and the perfect way out of a situation that we don't want to deal with. So if you want to do something about it, as I said, do seek out help, do seek out therapy, because it is beneficial for you and it will help you process some of the events that have happened, which led to you being where you are now. It's not a forever thing, not unless it's linked to things like Parkinson's or other mental health conditions that we at the moment cannot treat. It does happen, but most of the times with people, it's an overwhelmed system that can no longer process anything. So therapy will work, medication will work as well. It's not the same recipe for everybody, and this is what I want you to understand. We're not all the same. We all have our own way of looking at life and of experiencing life and of experiencing happiness. So it's important to find something that works for you, find a therapy that worked for you, and get out of the boredom of which you are now. So it was so lovely sharing this with you all. I hope you have enjoyed this podcast. My takes on this: life is a blessing. Yes, we are supposed to experience joy and we're supposed to experience happiness. Sadness is also a part of life. And if you find yourself unable to experience any joy, if you find that you've lost interest in the things you once loved, if you feel that spending time with your children doesn't give you the joy it once did, if your accomplishments and your realizations and your your big battles in life, the ones that you win, if you feel like they don't bring you any joy and any satisfaction, you should give yourself the ability, or you should let yourself reach out for help. And I say this because often I see people who feel unworthy, or because of their past and because of their wounds, it's very hard for them to ask for help. It's hard to open up and receive that help. It's hard to trust people. So find something that works for you. There's so many therapies out there. There's so many therapists. Something must work. See you next time.